finished coloring my entire project using my watercolor pencils. I really focused on mixing colors, using color theory, and I've started in my head as I was coloring, planning on things like, what do I want to use here? A graded wash, flat wash? Do I want to use a soft edge or a hard edge? So all of the things that we practice on this worksheet are now something that we can apply to our painting. One of the things that I want to do is keep this just nearby. Now, I don't have enough room with my camera, so it's just going to kind of sit off to the side, but it'll be over there in case I need it to reference. I think the thing that I'm going to focus on a lot is the hard edge versus soft edge. So for example, I'm going to want a hard edge when my black goes up to the pink of the controller, but I'm going to want a real soft edge of the shadow as it goes into the background paper. So that is one thing that I'm going to be looking at as I go. I have my different types of paintbrushes. I have my water. I have a napkin to clean my brush with. And I also have my watercolor pencils in case I need to make tweaks or changes as I go. And of course, my still life is still nearby. So what I'm going to go ahead and do with my area all set up, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick an object and I'm going to go with it. I got to be careful about how my hand moves across the page so that I don't accidentally wipe over something. So for example, I'm right-handed, so it makes sense that I might start over here and work my way this direction or rotate the paper as necessary so that I don't drag my hand across things that are wet. Because of the hard edge and the soft edge, I might have to jump around a little bit on different things. So for example, and remember, different brushes, different purposes, it's up to you. So for example, I might decide that I want to start up here on this guy. And I'm going to try to just work on this black area. Now I accidentally covered up my little highlight that I had there. One thing that I can do is go in with just water, add a little bit of water to it, try to lighten it up a little bit. I can even try to lift a little bit of the water up with my napkin and see how I got my highlight back. You have to be careful not to smudge. So I think I'm going to use a smaller brush this time so I don't have to do that again. Clean my brush, get that highlight. Use just a little tiny piece of the paper towel. Now I've still got my little highlights there on those bumpers. All right, so I'm just going to keep moving through. This time I'm going to go with the bottom portion. Because I know that I can get a straighter line from a different direction. I might rotate my paper to make it easier or more comfortable for my hand. Now, as I've said a couple of times, I want this to be a hard edge. So I'm going to let that dry and come back to it. But because I also want these other black parts to be hard edges, I might go ahead and get those at the same time. Nice, crisp, clean lines. I really should have started with the lighter part. As we learned during our practice. I can also take a brush and kind of, if the brush is dry, or what's called a thirsty brush, I can dry the brush and it'll pick up some of the water and the color, and it'll absorb it into my brush, and then I can clean off and dry my brush again. So now I got that highlight to come back a little bit. That's called a thirsty brush. So I don't want to just start going over everything and lose all of my shadows that I've been working on. So I'm just going to keep going. And as I time-lapse this video, I think what you're going to notice is how I sometimes have to jump around just so that I can get those hard edges that I was talking about. The blending should already be happening from the worksheet because I blend the colored pencils as I went to get colors. I'm going to try to remember that I want to do the lightest values before I use the darker ones. So little things like that as I go. Keep paper towels, water, and your colored pencils nearby in case you need to make any touch-ups as you go.